What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeremy with Fishing LoneStar. Today's video is going to be kind of a 2-for-1. We're going to wrap up a Texas Weekly Update along with a MonsterBass. Normally I say unboxing, but I guess it's an unbagging. We're going to dig into this, check out what came in this month's Regional Pro Box. Let's go. It's not a 3. Monster of a fish. Yeah. Good fish right there. All right, guys, so before I dig into the February MonsterBass Regional Pro Box to show you what came in the South Region bag, we've now got this awesome, sweet bait bags. Let me talk a little bit about this past weekend and what is happening in Texas. So you probably know last week was the worst winter storm and multiple days of well below freezing temps in Dallas since 1889. Literally since 1889. No one that is currently living has ever experienced cold like there has been in Dallas or Texas in general. I'll repeat that. No one that is currently living has ever experienced this. And I can somewhat attest that because I have a almost 92-year-old grandmother, and she confirmed that she's never seen anything like what we just experienced in Texas. So finally on Sunday, the waters were finally free of ice. Literally the boat ramps were free and clear where we could launch a boat, and that's what we did. I went out with Jacob from Persistent Fishing. Been fishing with him twice now. An awesome dude. I really enjoy fishing with him. So you're gonna see him probably quite a bit on this channel as we fish more. But anyways, went out with Jacob on Lake Ray Roberts. For the first time, I've never been on that lake before. I will say I still haven't caught a fish because the water temps were about 38 degrees. The warmest we found was one spot that was 42, and that was about 4 in the afternoon. So it had all day to heat up. So 42 is the warmest we found. 38 to 39 was the normal water temps. There was no bait fish anywhere. We didn't see any fish on the graphs. We were out there for about 4.5 hours and nothing. Talked to several other guys who were loading their boats around the same time. Nothing as well. So really, this update is only to tell you that post this cold, brutal couple of days of winter that we've had here in Texas, it was remarkable. Water temps were 38 to 39 degrees. Fishing has been extremely slow. We're already a couple of days removed from that. I will not be back in Texas fishing until 2 weeks from now. Weekend of March 6th and 7th, I'll be on Lake Fork for 2 days. But before then, literally 2 days from this video, I'm going to Lake Okeechobee, and I'll be fishing there for 2 days as well. So 2 days in Lake Okeechobee, come back the next weekend, 2 days at Lake Fork. So awesome, tons of fishing content coming to the channel, so stay tuned for that. But let's dive into this month's MonsterBass box because there are some incredible baits, and I want to talk quickly about how I would rig each of them and how I would use them. But first of all, MonsterBass ditched the box really because shipping costs were outrageously high and increasing for that box, and instead went to a bag, which is actually pretty awesome because this is probably an $8 to $10 bag that now you're getting for no charge. So it benefits you, benefits MonsterBass because it's cheaper to ship. So kind of a win-win scenario. So your value of the MonsterBass Regional Pro Box just went up. But let's check out some of these baits. You likely, if you've been around fishing for any bit of time, know the Rage Swimmer. And this is a pretty cool color because that pearl flash. It's on the back side. That plastic's terrible. Let me take this out really quick. All right, so it's a pearl flash. I think is a color, but you'll see it's white on top and a little bit of that pearl, a lot of that silver flake on the bottom, but a really good bait fish profile. This is a 3.75. The Rage Swimmers also come in a 3.25. They come in a 4 something, a 5 something, all kinds of sizes. I think they even go up to even like maybe 7 or 8 inches in the Rage Swimmer. But this is a great lure. You could throw this on the back of a chatterbait. You could throw it on the back of a swim jig. You could just throw it on an EWG hook. Awesome presentation. So you could use this multiple different ways as bass are still in that pre-spawn mode, feeding up on bait fish. Next up, for those of you that are getting out, probably in a little bit of a kayak or a boat scenario. Next up, I'm getting out of the package to show you, is that Lunker Hunt /12S. And it is a medium diving jerkbait, kind of in a perch color as the Northerners call it. This color looks like it's called greenback, but a pretty cool color. But that medium diving crankbait, this will go down to 12 feet. So I would say between 8 to 12 feet, depending on what kind of line you're using. But an awesome jerkbait here. This presentation will be really good, again, with some of those colder water lethargic bass that may be still in that pre-spawn mode. But sorry, let me get this back in the package. All right, sorry, my OCDness was bothering me. I had to get it back in the package, but I was distracting myself, so I'm sure it was distracting you. But what I was trying to say is, right now, kind of in that pre-spawn mode and some colder waters, which we just experienced in Texas, other parts of the country will be experiencing as well. Some bass will sometimes suspend around trees and be somewhere in the middle of the water column. So not on the bottom, not on the top, somewhere suspended in the middle. And a jerkbait, especially in that medium diving range, is crucial to help catch them and draw them out of those trees. So this is a great lure to use. Now then, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more shallow, so if you're bank fishing, MonsterBass also hooked you up with Bama Baits, the Alabama Slammer, I believe is what this is called, but it's basically the jerk bait offered by Bama Baits. Now, I have used some of Bama Baits stuff in the past, as I get this out of the package to show you, and they make some great lures, both soft plastic and hard plastic, with that blue on top, a little bit of orange belly, kind of a 3 to 5 foot diving jerk bait. Really cool taper design on the back and that red tail to really draw some strikes. But again, another great bait fish profile. I like to throw jerk baits somewhere on about a 12-pound fluorocarbon, somewhere in there. That's just my particular preference. Some people go 14, some people go 10. 12 is a pretty good line weight to throw your jerk baits on. And they'll get a pretty good depth out of it. All right, so sticking in kind of that diving bait, this is a 5 to 8 foot diving Series 4 crankbait by Strike King, an awesome lure, tried, true, tested, can't go wrong with this one. And it's a kind of a sexy shad color. I believe that is actually the color, sexy shad, but is a great color again for bass that are keying in on bait fish. This is a great color though. I'd highly recommend Sexy Shad in any of the Strike King lineup of baits, but that crankbait is gonna catch some fish. I'm gonna pull out these next two together because they go together. Now you can throw them separately, but one is the Biffle Junkyard Jig. Let me actually take this out of the packaging. This is what the packaging looks like. This is actually by River to Sea. But this jig is, first of all, a 3/4 ounce or 3/4 ounce. But it's a little bit of a compact jig. So I'm gonna show you, look at that incredibly stout hook, but it is a compact jig, all right? And this is a little bit of like a green pumpkin purple that's in there, but it's also got those rattles on the bottom. So right now, again, some bass could be staging around main lake points or secondary points as we get closer to the spawn. And some of these colder water scenarios, they're gonna hug down in some of the creek bends. And as I'm sitting here playing with this jig, I wanna show you that hook again because that is extremely thick gauge hook. And it's gonna make for a great compact jig. And what's cool is MonsterBass provided you also with the Thunderhawk. Not a lure I've ever heard of before, but it's by Thunderhawk Lures. So one of those regional companies that MonsterBass likes to partner with. This color is actually called Smoke. I believe that's the color name. And let me take one out and show you what this crawl looks like. So kind of a darker color. It's got some red flake in it. It's also got a little bit of like a green flake. So kind of a dark color, but a little bit of candy colors as you may recall. But then look at the crawls are very prominent. Those are gonna kick and thump a lot. And so you definitely, I would cut this down and then pair it with that jig, and it's gonna give you a really bulky, compact crawl bait profile. So that's how I would definitely use those two. But wait, there's more. Last I would show you is, okay, these work. I know these work. I personally just don't like throwing them, okay? This is just my style. But by Candy Baits, kind of a watermelon red Ned log. Take one out of the package and show you, because this design is really pretty cool. So a little Ned rig style bait, but it's ribbed here at the top, which is going to give it some action in the water. I'll hold this end, and you can kind of see as I'm holding it is, you know, pretty still. There's some good action there. So by Candy Baits, the Ned log in a watermelon red color. Definitely going to throw this on a Ned rig. If you're pond fishing or fishing some smaller bodies of water, that's just where I've had a lot of luck with Ned rigs. But most of the time, if I'm going to go slow, it's probably going to be that jig and a crawl that I'm going to use to fish slow. Of course, you can take that crawl and also Texas rig it. Also in the bag, a couple other things I'll show you. One, spear point hooks. If you're unfamiliar with spear point hooks, this is actually the 3rd or 4th package I've received. This is kind of a multi-pack, so a 2/0, 3/0, and 4/0. I will tell you, they've got kind of this grip technology and like this wide gap. They do keep fish pinned really well, but I'm telling you, they're super sharp. They're great hooks. I love using them. You've got your MonsterBass sticker. And then of course, just your pamphlet showing you what's in the bag, all the details, all the baits. There it is. And you guys stay tuned to the channel, this channel and MonsterBass channel, because next month's box, a little sneak peek. That's right, all baits that anglers have used to win a Bassmaster Classic. And if you're not already familiar, the lake that I just mentioned in the beginning of this video, Lake Ray Roberts, very close to my house, is actually where the Classic will be fished. So we've got the Classic box coming to an angler near you at a lake where the Classic is being fished at Ray Roberts. So you kind of see where I'm going with this? There might be a video in the near future of us fishing Lake Ray Roberts, the Classic lake for this year, with the Classic baits in the MonsterBass bag. Stay tuned for that. All right, make sure you subscribe here to Fishing the Lone Star. My name is Jeremy. Appreciate you checking out the video. Drop a comment below. Let me know which one of these baits is your favorite. And if you've not yet, check out MonsterBass. The regional pro box is loaded with tons of great baits, as you saw here. Well worth the value, especially now that the bag is included, because I will definitely be reusing this as I go to Florida, which is why my boat looks like it does, is because I need to fill these bags with baits, lures, terminal tackle, etc. to go to Lake Okeechobee. So maybe 1 or 2 more videos before Lake Okeechobee. Just I'm gonna do a prepping video showing you what I'm taking to Lake Okeechobee. You would think I'd be fishing for 2 weeks, not 2 days, but I wanna show you all the bait and tackle that I've prepped with for Lake Okeechobee. I've got a couple of other maybe unboxing videos to show you. One is a new partnership, a new pro staff agreement that I have with a very prominent, well-known lure manufacturer. So I wanna bring that to you. So I'm gonna bring you that. I'm gonna bring you kind of a prepping for Okeechobee video, and then we're gonna hit the water on this channel at Lake Okeechobee and catch hopefully some big bass. So stay tuned for that. If nobody told you, God loves you, and so do I. Peace out.